G'day guys, this is Nick at Stridewise.com with another episode of the best places to buy boots and shoes in New York City. And we looked at a bunch of different price points in the city so far. Plenty of places with like boots and shoes for over 500 bucks. What we got today is a very unusual brand that makes a really wide array of Goodyear welted boots and shoes. And not only do they keep it under 300 bucks, they do so while using leathers from really world-renowned tanneries like Horween, CF Stead, Tannery Dupuis, Tannery Dennonnet, and so on. I don't know any other brand that manages to pull this off at this price point. We're at Meermin. Let's take a closer look. How do you describe the brand?
It's our accessibility that's our strongest suit. You know, for us, it's the big headline's the price point, but what follows, I think, is the craftsmanship that goes into that. So it's the approachability of getting a finely crafted shoe for a price that is non-existent in the market. So that's our calling card at the end of the day.
Kyle, how do you pull it off? How are there boots and shoes with this sort of construction at such a low price point?
We don't lie about the origins of our boots. I mean, they've been manufactured in Shanghai for around 15 years up to this point. Our brand itself is close to 22 years old, but we're using European sourced materials. It's French sourced box calf, Italian suede, European sourced Kudu, which we'll talk about a little bit later. We don't wholesale. So we only have 3 locations in the entire world, one here in wonderful New York City, and our other 2 are gonna be Madrid and Paris.
When it comes to boots and more casual wear, for me, what comes to mind when I think of Meermin is the wholecut Chelseas. Walk us through what makes these special.
These guys are sort of the gold standard for us. This is what we've had for the longest, around 6 or 7 years, maybe even longer than that. This Hero Last is what I call our bread and butter. It's sort of straight down the middle as far as width is concerned. We have, I think, about 26 current models just in this last alone. Sleek, sort of, indicative of that Spanish style. I love this Repello dark brown that we have here. So,
which is a suede that is a water repellent, right?
Exactly, yeah. So all of our suede is pre-treated. The nap is, is thick enough to handle those rainy days as well. And then, obviously full grain box calf.
So what is whole cut? Why is it so desirable for so many people?
So whole cut, what we mean by that is that we're using one piece of leather. So there is only one stitch point along the entire shoe. So it takes less material, but it's also really harder to do as far as construction is concerned. So,
and it's more expensive to do because you can't use scrap pieces of leather.
Exactly, yes.
Now I think you said this is your most popular Chelsea overall, right?
Yes. So
what's special about this one?
Yeah, so these guys are going to be part of our Ultraflex system. So we've done a lot with this system that we introduced about 4 years ago. So what this means is that it's still conventional Goodyear welted, but what we've done is we've replaced the cork in the midsole with a high compression foam. And then we've also incorporated a removable 3mm memory foam insole. So it's very airy, very suspension-like at the bottom end. And then we've also created our own lightweight cleated sole as well, which takes about half the weight.
This weighs nothing.
Yeah. So
I think I got sneakers that weigh more than this. So you said this is a waxy suede.
Yeah.
Is it CF Stead?
Yes.
Okay, so this is another thing, because there's a lot of brands that have inexpensive boots and they'll be a little bit quiet about where the leather comes from. Actually use like these world-class tanneries. You got CF Stead, your calf leather, a lot of it is from like Tannery Dennonnet and Tannery Dupuis and stuff, right?
Dupuis, Dennonnet. So yeah, but we're using big name tanneries. Our Kudu is also CF Stead as well.
You have an unusual emphasis on Kudu for a brand, which I love because nowhere near enough people make stuff out of Kudu leather, and most people don't even know what it is. What is Kudu?
Yeah, so Kudu is sub-Saharan African antelope. So big haunch guys with corkscrew antlers. These guys feed off of basically anything. They're kind of a pest down there.
Which is good because they're not endangered. They're all over the place, right?
Right. So it's not we're not sourcing a leather of any sort of endangered species or anything. These are wildly abundant. But when you think of the leather itself, in the benefits of it as a shoe, right? So because they're sub-Saharan, they need to keep cool as opposed to keeping warm. So what this skin does is that it retains moisture instead of expelling it. So internalizing moisture is where most of the care for leathers come from. whereas this doesn't really necessarily need that. But this, I think, is probably the most durable material that we have out of everything that we sell.
Now, it is worth emphasizing that Kudu, as a very wild animal, you get plenty of like scratches and scars from the animal's life in the wild.
You're gonna have different characteristics from every single pair. So they're all gonna look completely unique.
But if you're cool with that, and a lot of people in fact find that extra cool, then Kudu, it's a really, really cool material. And not crazy expensive like a lot of weird exotic leathers.
No, yeah, I mean, all of our Kudus range around 260 to 270. So
yeah, no, I love it. Especially like putting like more rugged leather and like kind of more dressier sort of last sometimes. That's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Chelsea is very important for Meermin. Other boots of yours, these hiking boots.
Sure.
They're also pretty big sellers for you, right?
Yeah, we're really, more traditional sensed, but we kind of wanted to dip our toe into what's fashionable today. And these hiking boots, you've probably seen so many different variations of them, but this is our take on it. They've done quite well for us. Again, has that Ultraflex system on it, so it's a little bit more lightweight construction to it. Basically, for now, just either a soft grain or a full grain box calf, but they've done really quite well for us.
Now, box calf, that's a famously dressy leather. Usually, you'd see that on really nice Oxfords and that sort of stuff. Why use box calf for rugged outdoorsy hiking boots?
It blends with our traditional sense. So it's sort of, it's rugged with a dressy twist, if you will. I think that's the approach we're going for.
Yeah, no, I like that. It's just, can you go hiking in this?
I have, as much as you can here in New York. So, so I've climbed a few rocks in Central Park, and I've done quite well with them. So.
Okay, your casual lace-up boots. What do you got? I know you came out with another one like in the last year or so.
Right.
Then you had another one before that.
Sure.
That was like a little bit more sleek and dressy.
Exactly.
And you're just moving into the slightly more casual lace-up boots.
Right.
Walk us through the casual Meermin lace-up boots.
So you said this is probably identifies as our go-to boot. So the shape that we've had for the longest period is what we've called the rod last. So pretty conventional workman's boot. There's nothing too out of the ordinary when it comes to this. And then we came out with the Negon last. So these four guys here were the first iteration, new iteration of our workman's boot. Differences are that it's flatter in the toe box. We've unlined the shaft itself. The toe descends a little bit more sleek, so it has a side profile. It's not nearly as chunky, but it gives off a more casual look when it's seen full on.
And it's soft in the toe.
Right, exactly. So unstructured in the toe. We've redesigned how we do the structure in our boots. So we've gone with leather heel and toe counters as opposed to fiberboard in the past. So it's not nearly as rigid in the front and the back when you're breaking these guys in.
So those are your boots. Then boots are mostly what talk about my channel, but I feel like since we're in Meermin, your biggest sellers overall, you sell a lot of loafers and stuff as well, don't you?
Right, yeah, we have. I mean, I would say that has grown more in the last 2 years than anything else. Yeah, as far as our loafers are concerned, we've got a lot coming. So we're excited about what's upcoming this year. So,
Kyle, where is this store? Where can people find you?
So this store is in the neighborhood of Soho here in Manhattan in New York City. This is the mega of
I see the address as well. Kyle, where are we? Where is this store? How can people get here?
Yeah, so this store here is in the neighborhood of Soho here in Manhattan in New York City. And you can find us at 123 Mercer Street. We're open 11 to 7:30 Saturday to Saturday and 12 to 6:30 on Sundays.
All right, we'll see you here next time you're in New York.
Yes, sir.